So today we are gonna learn about Grafana from scratch. Okay, so this video is going to be useful for beginners who want to learn Grafana, as well as experienced who have like very less experience in implementation part. Okay. So in this, the agenda of the video will be, I will explain you what exactly is Grafana, why do we need it, how it works, and finally we will create a demo Grafana dashboard, and we will do a proper POC on a temporary website. Okay, so everything I will show you in this video only, but you need to bear with me and you need to watch this video till end. Okay, then only you will understand, and then only you will be able to do your own POC. Okay, also everything that you need to implement Grafana and do a POC, I will provide everything. Okay, now coming to the this part. Okay, so let's say like I am working in a certain company and I have two websites of my own. Okay, for example, let's say first website I am using, I have deployed Jenkins on a server. Okay, and second is a normal website which is basically having multiple buttons and ways to do things, very basic things. Okay, so these two websites I have. First is Jenkins and second is a very basic static website, okay, with just certain buttons and certain small functionalities. Okay, and I am the owner. Okay, so I say that I want to get information about my two sites. The sort of information that I want is that I want to know how many plugins were installed in my Jenkins in a certain period of time. Okay, then how many pipelines are created, when was the last pipeline was triggered. Okay, so this kind of information I want from my Jenkins. And from the second website, I want information like how many times this button was clicked, how many URLs have been added in this box, like this kind of information. Okay, so I cannot directly go and ask everyone, the users of the website, how many times did you click the button, or when was the last time you triggered a pipeline. Okay, that is not at all feasible. Okay, so to solve this problem and always stay updated with the our website, how it is working and how things are going inside that, we have Grafana. Okay, so what exactly is Grafana? First of all, let me make a box. Okay, so Grafana is basically an open source analytics and monitoring tool which helps you visualize the analysis done on your website in a proper way. Okay, in a proper human readable way, in the form of charts, bar graph, or those kind of things. Okay, so it becomes very feasible for us, and in a very short, in a very easy way, we get all the information we need about our websites. Okay, now if you are you might be thinking, okay, we just create Grafana, add to our connect to our website and get the information. But no, that is not how Grafana works. As I mentioned, Grafana is just an analysis and monitoring tool, but it does not get the details directly from our website. Okay, so now coming to the second section where I will explain you how it works basically. Okay, so let's say as I mentioned earlier, I have two websites. One is Jenkins and one is the normal website. Okay, and then we have Grafana as well. Okay, yeah, so I have Grafana. Now I see, basically the main thing of Grafana is that if you just provide the data to Grafana, it will present that data to you in a very human readable way. Okay, in a very pleasing way, in a very pretty manner. Okay, but to get that data to Grafana, we need to fetch that data from our websites. Okay, and that is where data sources come. Okay, so basically in this section there are multiple data sources available in market. For example, some of the data sources are known as Prometheus. Okay, then we have other than Prometheus, we have Loki. Okay, and then we have another one, InfluxDB. Okay, so these are some of the common data sources that are being used in corporate level. Okay, so what exactly is data source? Okay, so data source is the tool or something you can say, which basically fetch the data or get the data from the our application or website, whichever we want to analyze. Okay, so in our case, we want to analyze the information on Jenkins as well as the second website. Okay, so to get that data, first of all, it needs to be fetched. Okay, and that part of fetching data is done by these data sources. For example, okay, later also I will explain even what is the difference between these three data sources. Okay, first of all, let's say like we are going to use Prometheus. Okay, now first like you need to know what kind of data source is Prometheus. Okay, so Prometheus is a time series data source. Okay, when we say time series data source, which basically means it will fetch the data in like in certain intervals of time. Okay, like for example, if I set the time interval that 10 minutes. Okay, so it will fetch the data every 10 minutes. Okay, so that is like time series data sources. Okay, then we have Loki. Okay, Loki. So Loki is a kind of like log aggregation data source. Okay, so what it does, it basically like fetches the logs of that application, and that logs can be analyzed by Grafana. Similarly, we have InfluxDB. Okay, so InfluxDB is similar to Prometheus, but you can say a better version of Prometheus. Okay, so like if you are having an option between Prometheus and InfluxDB, always go with InfluxDB. InfluxDB is also a time series data source, but a better version of Prometheus. Okay, now what will happen is that these data sources, whichever we are using, for example, like let's say I'm just using Prometheus, then what Prometheus will do, will fetch the information or data from these two websites, and it will pass it to Grafana. Okay, let's say it passed to Grafana, and then Grafana will use that data and create a graph, or like whatever visual version we want, like a graph or charts or a like bar graph or any kind of things. Okay, whichever we want. So like you understand like how it is working. Okay, the data, the information on that website or any server we want to analyze, the data from that is fetched by a data source. Data source can be of different types, like time series data source, then we have log aggregation data source. Okay, so these kinds of any kind of data source we can use that will fetch the information or data, and that data will be passed to Grafana. Okay, and then Grafana will use that data to create a proper chart, graph, or any other thing of like any other sort of that thing. Okay, so this is how basically Grafana works. Okay, now just little bit difference between these three data source, Prometheus, Loki, InfluxDB. So as I mentioned, Prometheus and InfluxDB are of like time series data. Time series data is the one which basically fetches data in a certain interval of time that we can decide. Like we can set, if like I want data every 5 seconds, okay, updated data, so we can just set that like interval is that 5 seconds, so every 5 seconds our graph will be updated. Okay, so Prometheus and InfluxDB like time series data. Then we have Loki. So Loki is a like a log aggregation tool, so it will just fetch the different logs from our application, and that log will be sent to Grafana to create a like graph or present to us in a proper way. Okay, now let's say let's come to one more thing that I want to explain to you. Okay, so let me just scroll down a little bit. Okay, let's create Grafana back, and then we have this Prometheus, then Loki, and then we have this one InfluxDB. Okay, now coming like let's say like we have sent the data from our data sources to Grafana. Okay, now let's say like it for Jenkins application, let's say Prometheus sent a big amount of data, like let's say what should I say, like 5 MB of data. Okay, but and if that data contains multiple things, for example, it contains information about how many pipeline are there. Okay, it contains information about how many plugin are there in Jenkins. It contains information about like last deployment when was done. Okay, but I just want to know how many plugins are there as of now. Okay, so how do we do that? So for that we have a queries. Okay, a queries like some sort of query. Okay, so we need to learn like how to write queries, and using that specific query, whatever information we want, we can get this. Okay, for example, like 1 second, sorry about that. Sorry. Let's say that I just want information about how many plugins are there. So I could write something, a query like plugins. What is happening here? Plugins.info. Okay, it is not the proper query, I will show you that later, but I am saying that to get the data whichever we want, we use queries. Okay, so I will just provide a query to Grafana ki I want the information about plugins, and using that query it will fetch that specific data to us. Okay, and like these three things that you need to know about Grafana: first, Grafana itself; second, data sources; and then we have queries. These three things. So that is how Grafana works. Data sources will fetch the details about data from any website or server we want to analyze, and it will share the data to Grafana. Then Grafana will create the report on that, report using that data. Okay, so I hope that you understand the how Grafana works and why exactly we need it. Okay, now what I'm going to show you is how we can implement, and I will show you a proper demo from scratch how we can set up our own Grafana and like run queries and all. Okay, so let's do that as well. I have created this VM with 8 GB of RAM because I was not sure how much resources we'll be needing. Okay, also I will put a link in the description also for the video which will help you to understand like how to create instances in AWS. Okay, so first of all, make sure that you have opened this port on your virtual machine. Okay, so because these are the ports that we'll be needing. Okay, so first of all, we need to clone a repository using which we will create our Grafana and other resources. Okay, so I want to clone this one. Okay, so once it is cloned, we will type cd command and we will go to we will go to inside that folder in which that repository is there. Okay, go and yeah. Okay, now we need to see on this VM I have just installed Docker and Docker Compose. Okay, because we need to use Docker Compose to create the resources. Okay, to create the containers. So I will run the command as docker -compose up-d to run it in detached mode. Click enter, and this might take a little bit of time because it is going to create multiple containers. Okay, some for Prometheus, some for Loki, some for Grafana itself. Okay, so you can see slowly it is like pulling the images and it is creating containers out of that. Okay, so once it is created, then we can proceed and start with our POC. Okay, yeah. Also don't worry, like every step that I am going to use here I will just share with you as well. Okay, so you can also do your own POC, but again the thing is it will be much better if you really do that POC. Okay, so everything created. Now if I clear the screen and run the command as docker compose ps. Okay, so you can see multiple environment have been created, which is for it created Grafana, some database, Prometheus, Loki. Okay, so these are the things, and you can see like multiple ports. These are the ports on which we can access them. Okay, so now coming to the part where we are going to start with our POC. So first of all, we will go to access our Grafana, which is on 3000 port or 3000 port with IP address. Okay, so this is the IP address which I have, which is the IP address of my virtual machine. I will paste it :3000. Okay, click enter, and you can see Grafana. Okay, so if you are doing it for the first time, the initial admin ID password is admin, and password is also admin. So we'll put it and click on login. You can see here it says logged in, and here we need to change the password for the first time. So we will just provide some password and click on submit. Okay, now this is done, and first time when you are like setting up your Grafana, this is the dashboard that you are going to see. Okay, and here you can see documentation tutorial. This is from like official website of Grafana. So if you want to prefer that, you can just click on that and go start using that. Okay, next what we need to do, see Grafana we have set up. Next on port 8081 we have our own application sample website running on which we will do the POC. Okay, so if I go here, let me copy the IP address, because IP address is going to be same but only the ports will be different. Okay, and here port will be, click enter. Okay, now basically this is a like sample application Grafana news, and what it does, for example, it will like here na, we will provide a title, any name, and any URLs. Okay, so it will add it in its database, and then it will like provide us like if we can upvote it or like that. Okay, let me just show you, then it will be clear. Okay, so for example, if I copy this here, so in URL I will paste this thing, and title, let's say I want to put as myself, my name. Okay, or just like example, that will be better. Click submit, and you can see here it has added that website, and there is a small triangle also. If I zoom it, there is a small triangle also. So if I click on it, you can see points are increasing. This is a part where we can vote. Okay, now yeah, so as I mentioned previously also, like how Grafana actually works is using data sources. So first of all, from this website, it needs to fetch data, and that data will be shared to Grafana, which will create a proper dashboard for us, or like graph in a graphical format, which we can use. Okay, so for that, on left side you can see there are certain buttons. Okay, so here we will scroll down to this configuration and go to data sources. Okay, so here we can select which data source we want to add. So we can click on add data source, and you can see there are, as I mentioned, there are multiple data source: Prometheus, then InfluxDB and Loki. These are the three that we talked about previously. Okay, but other than that, like there are SQL databases, cloud databases, and much more. Okay, so for now let's go with Prometheus. Click on that, and you can see data source added. We need to provide the IP address of the data source. Okay, so in my case, IP address of data source is this one. Let me copy this, and we will go here and paste it here. Okay, and just scroll down and click on save and test. So it will like save it and test if the connection to that data source is working or not. So in our case, as we can see, it is working fine. Okay, so once we have added Prometheus as a data source, next up we can start exploring the dashboard. Okay, so on left side you can see there are multiple options. So we will go to explore, and here we need to provide a query. Okay, and that query will be used to find out specific data. Okay, so let's start with the just a very basic query, which is to count seconds. Okay, so if I paste it here in the query editor and click on run query, so once we run query, you can see it has just like increasing graph. Okay, and here this section, which is having like multiple colored icons, these colors are coming from this graph. Okay, so this section is known as legend. Okay, and here if you want, you can change like the format of this graph, like line, bars, points, stacked lines, then stacked bars, whichever you want. Okay, so for now let's just keep the lines. Okay, and here another table is there which with another like other details. Okay, now let's say that this is the graph is fine and all everything, but I want this graph to be updated every 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Okay, so for that, what we can do, we can like expand this option, click on 5 seconds, and every 5 seconds this graph will be updated. Okay, we will see, you see there was like red color or pink color change was there. That will happen every 5 seconds. That means it is the graph is getting updated every 5 seconds. Okay, and if you want to see like specific time period graph, that also you can select from here. Correct. Custom also you can even provide from this date to from this time, like that. Okay, so for now it is like it is getting updated every 5 seconds. Okay, so this is like basic query to see like how graph is generated. Okay, so basically in Grafana we have multiple functions which like completely apply a specific kind of functionality on your query. Okay, for now like we are having like just a seconds count query, so we can use the rate function, which will help us to find out rate of change. That means how fast the value increases. Okay, so let's apply, and here if you see, like it is not so hard. Like we are using rate function. Inside the rate function we have just passed the original query, and time period we are giving 5 minutes. Okay, so let me just copy this and we will paste it in here. Again here, just paste it, click on run query. Okay, now if you see the graph changed. Why? Because we have like a different metric that we want to get details of. Okay, at this point we are getting like rate. Okay, rate of and here you can see how like steadily it is getting changed. Okay, because it is like simply the increasing counter second, like it is just counting the seconds, so that why we are seeing the straight graph. Okay. Next what we have, next we have another function. We have sum function, and we are putting this whole query inside sum function, and what it will do, it will group the time series by route. Why it is written by route? Because at the end of this query you can see it is written, we want to like different categorize with using this section which is to by route. Okay, so let's try this query as well. Okay, see, even query, like if you want to learn how to write that at least like will take some time. Okay, so let's paste this and click on run query. Okay, now here if you see, like the details are categorized using route, and in route we have like post, route, vote. Okay, so it is like steadily going now. Okay, let's say that I want to generate some traffic. Okay, see, these metric are of this website. Okay, for example, if I just click on this button to vote, okay, multiple times I will just click. If we go back to our graph now, there should be some changes here. Okay, so here red line you are seeing, you see it increased, it is going up now. Why? Because we made like we gave some changes on this website, which is like we what we did, like voted. Okay, so if you see here again, the graph is changing a little bit because we generated multiple, we generated traffic here. Okay, if I click again 1, 2 or 3 times, here we should be able to see the changes. Okay, let me see here. So we have this red color for vote, and that is also increasing. If I refresh this, you can see now it is going up. Why? Because we made created some traffic on the site, and this is like we are able to see here. Okay, so this is like some of the important functions, like 2 of the important functions, which is rate and sum for your queries. Okay, also like if you want to make some changes in the query, you can like modify it, like here it is written by route, so that you can change. Then you can change the time period. These basic things you can like change and try to see like what are the things coming. Okay, again if you see here, the graph is going down because traffic is now slow. Okay, so next what we are going to do is, next we will add Loki logging data source. Okay, so as I mentioned before also, like Loki is a data source which basically works with logs. Okay, so how we are going to do that, let me copy this URL because we will be needing it. Let's copy that. Okay, so I'm going back to this home thing, then scroll down, go to configuration, then data sources. Okay, click on that, and here click on add data source and scroll down. Either you can just search here by name Loki, or you can just scroll down. So here we can see Loki is there, we can click on it, and here we need to provide the address URL. Okay, so paste this one and scroll down, click on save and test. Okay, see in the starting of the video I have mentioned that these are the ports that needs to be open on your virtual machine, then only these things will work. Okay, and you can see data source connected and labels found. Okay, that means it is working fine. Okay, next what we need to do is we need to find out like how Loki will work. Okay, so for example, like we have this file inside this location on our VM. Okay, and we will use Loki to create create a graph of it. Okay, so again we will go to explore, and here first of all we need to change the data source. You can see 3 data sources there, Prometheus, Loki and Grafana. So we'll select Loki, then we will paste the location here, file path. Okay, and then we'll click on run query. Okay, now if you see here, logs when they were changed, it is mentioned here like on this graph. Okay, this is the format of like Loki data source, like using which we are generating the graph. Okay, now what I'm going to do is like let's generate an error, and then we will see the changes on our graph. Okay, so for that what it is saying us to do is, okay, post a new link without URL to generate a new error. Okay, no issues. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to our website. first of all we will just add like one or two things. Okay, then we will, okay, one thing added. Okay, now we are going to just click on submit. Okay, now you see empty URL it is saying because we did not put any URL. Okay, then what happened here? Okay, now see, now we need to like put this query in our Loki like Grafana. Okay, so then we should be able to see the details here. So I will just paste it here, click run query. Okay, and here you can see logs 1, it is showing here. Yeah, if we scroll down, even here we can see like log was saying empty URL. Okay, let's expand it. Okay, so little other details also we can see here. Okay, see, main point of this Grafana and Loki like other data sources that to see the metrics as well as logs in a better way. Okay, so you can see like in this format, like we can generate a error and then we can see the issues. Okay, let's go back here, let us give some points to it also to generate some traffic. Okay, so these are the like two of the very like important data sources, and I just showed the fundamental things that we could perform with these data sources. I just wanted to show like how they work to show us the information on from our website. Okay, now what I'm going to show you is the most important thing in Grafana, which is to build a dashboard. Okay, so we can like customizingly build our own dashboard, which has our like whatever details we want to fill in, that dashboard will be having, and then based on that we can see the details. Okay, so now let's do that as well. Okay, so now what we are going to do is create our first Grafana dashboard. Okay, so for that we can go on left side, create option, click on dashboard. Okay, here you can see three options: add a panel from panel library, then new row, then panel. So we'll click on add a new panel. Okay, so here what we need to provide, first of all we need to make sure which data source we are going to use. So here we are going to use Prometheus. Then for the metrics, for the query we will write this one. I want like to use some function inside which I will put rate function, inside which I will put the basic duration count seconds. Okay, now in legend we need to write we want this route. Okay, and I think, yeah, and panel title you want, so I will just put as traffic. Okay, because we are going to see the traffic on our this Grafana news site. Okay, so this is done. Click on apply. Okay, so let me, yeah, so first of all what I will do is last 5 minutes. You can see like since the graph is now it is showing the details but graph going down. Okay, so we are gonna make some changes by like bringing some traffic here on the site. So we will give more points to both the websites, both the links that we have added. Okay, and side by side let's add one more link. Okay, title something, anything you want, you can just put it. Yeah, so traffic is generating. Now if we go back here and yeah, refresh dashboard, 5 seconds I want to have. Okay, so yeah, now you can see it is going up. Why? Because traffic is coming on our site, so the graph is changing. Okay, to save this you can click on save dashboard, and let's provide a name as traffic, folder genre separate. If you want to have, then you can do that as well. Okay, just click on save. Okay, it is already existing. We can provide traffic -1, click on save, and our dashboard is saved inside general. Okay, so this is how you create traffic. In case like you want to edit it, you can click here and then click edit. Okay, and whatever changes you want to make, you can make changes here. Okay, so it's pretty easy, but you will get you will get to know more about it once you start like implementing it. Okay, that is the best way to understand or explore something. Okay, so next what we are gonna do. Okay, so next up we have another important feature which is known as Grafana managed alert. Okay, so basically what it means, like we are getting detail and we are monitoring one of our website. Let's say some issue is occurring with that. Okay, so it would be really good if we are alerted of the issue. Okay, so that means what we are going to do is create an alert rule, okay, which will be basically a certain condition that we want to apply on our website, that if this condition surpasses or if this condition happens, then we should be alerted to a certain place. Okay, so how it will work, basically two things will be there: contact point and alert point. Okay, sorry, alert rule. So contact point is the point or channel on which we will be receiving alert, okay, ki some issue is occurring on our site, and alert rule is the rule on, like, once that rule is happening, then only we will be receiving alert to contact point. Okay, now to configure it, first of all we need to have a channel or like contact point. So for this demo I will use request bin. Okay, so we can search for request bin on Google, click on the first link, opens, and we will create a public bin for now, okay, just for this demo purpose, to make sure that it is working fine. Okay, and you can see this is the page that has opened. So first see, once this page is open, we will go back, we will close this one, and then we will go back to Grafana, and here this bell icon you can see alerting. Okay, so we will click on contact points. Okay, so here we need to click on new contact point, click on that, and here we need to provide a name. So we will provide request, then we will write request bin. Okay, and contact point type we want to have webhooks. So expand it and scroll down, and here you can see webhook. Okay, now for URL, if I go back to request bin, you can see there is a URL. So we will copy that URL and paste it here. Okay, once this is pasted, what we can do, we can click on test. Okay, so this will send a test notification. Okay, test alert send. If we go back here, you can see we just received something. Okay, so that means it is working fine, right? Okay, so this thing we have created, we can click on save contact point. Okay, so contact point we have saved. Now we need to create the alert. Okay, team, so once we have configured the contact point, next we need to create the alert rules. Okay, so for that, again we will go to this bell icon, go to alert rules. Okay, and here we need to click on new alert rule. Okay, so this is the section 1, and first of all we need to provide a name. Okay, so I will provide the name as fundamentals test. Okay, now rule type we need to select as Grafana managed alert. Okay, now for folder we can type like here we can type fundamentals. Okay, next up we have this section 2. 1 sec. Okay, it's not coming or what? Okay, let me type it again and let's see. Fundamentals. Okay, create, we need to create it. Okay, that is done. Great. Okay, for this section 2 we need to inside this query we need to use sum and rate function, which we used previously. Okay, I think we are already having that, so let me just copy paste it. Yeah, so this one we will just copy and we will paste it here. Okay, now we can click on run queries one time. Okay, yeah, so graph is created. Great. Okay, next what we have, like we have this B section also. So for here we want, operation will be classic condition, and conditions we need to put like when last then of A is above. So for after above it is written 3, we need to put here 0.2. See, this small values I am putting because we need to test it properly. Okay, because we can, if everything is small, we can test it in short period of time. Okay, so this is good. Next we have this section 3. Okay, so for here evaluate every, we will put 30 seconds, 30s. As I mentioned, like this we are going to do it for, what is that, like we need to get these things tested in very short period of time. Okay, Okay, so here the time we'll put is 0M. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Yeah. Okay, so we have a next section, which is section 4, and here we need to add details for our alert. Okay, yeah, summary is fine. Text, let's see, like we can write like the issue 7 has issue 7 has occurred. See, we can write anything depending on like whatever alert we have created. Okay, description is just write Aditya, and then we have a runbook URL. Okay, so that we will just leave it. Okay, then we have save and exit. Okay, so this is fine, and we can click on save and exit. Okay, so again, where we need to go, notification policies. Yeah, so once we have saved our like rules that we have created, we can click on notification policies. Okay, so I think, yeah, in our default policy we need to edit it first. Okay, so here default contact point, we will select request bin, which we have like already created. Okay, and here in section of this group by, let's expand. Okay, it's nothing there, so I guess we need to leave it as it is. Okay, so let's just save it. Okay, yeah, so that is saved. Okay, now next what we need to do is how to trigger the Grafana managed alert. Okay, so now to get like a request here, what we can do, we can go to our site and we will continuously vote. Okay, because this will generate the traffic, and then we should receive the alert on our public request bin. Okay team, so once this, like you can see here, even it says one rule, one firing. Okay, one firing means like it has started firing because we have generated the lot of traffic here, so it will start firing. And if I go back to here, you can see our message has been received. Okay, the issue 7 has occurred, and whatever description we have provided, that information is received. Okay, so like on general level, on a vast thing it is done, like proper as of now we are using request bin for the contact point, but in corporate we have like our own emails configured to receive the like alerts. Okay, so in this way you configure Grafana managed alert to make sure that our application is running fine. Okay, so see, this tutorial was for just beginners. Basically what I want is that you can get started by implementing little things. Okay, once you implement, then only you will understand how exactly it is working. Okay, so this was the beginners tutorial. So once you have done like POCs and all, then we will move to the like advanced level of this application. Okay, so thanks for watching and have a good night. Sorry, good morning actually.